Hello there, and welcome here to another edition of the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washett, off the bye week here. We're presented by Underdog Fantasy. You'll hear more about Underdog and the great offer we've got for you later here in the show. We're also brought to you by Crani-Yum, and they are the official energy drink sponsor of the Husker Online Show, as we're all enjoying one. And Robin and Sip got the new melon crisp flavor. How's that going for you?
What do you think, Rob?
It's pretty good. My first sip's high level.
Yeah, it's a combination of watermelon and green grape.
Yep.
It's got a nice finish to it.
I went in curious about how that was going to mix together, and so far I've been pleasantly surprised.
What I love about our partnership with Crani-Yum, when they know that we're running low, like they showed up, they came over with like 7 cases.
Yeah.
So like we have just a lifetime supply of Crani-Yum, and we're honored to be titled with them. If you're not familiar with it, it's owned by 2 lifelong Nebraskans out of Fremont. It is a healthier alternative for energy drinks. Only 150 milligrams of naturally sourced caffeine, full of nootropics, which help for mental clarity. No sugar, no artificial colors or flavors. It's all natural. And we've got a great deal with Husker Online. They're going to give you 10% off your order of Crani-Yum. Use the promo code Husker Online on the website, drinkcrani-yum.com. That's Y-U-M at the end of Crani-Yum. Go to drinkcrani-yum.com, promo code Husker Online. That's 10% off. You'll get free shipping as well, and you can use that multiple times. That is not a one-time code usage.
Good.
You can get online and continue to order. So thanks to Crani-Yum. You can also buy it all over at Hy-Vee Health Markets and other places like Elite Nutrition and other nutrition stores around eastern Nebraska. All right, well, let's get into it. Off the bye week, guys, for Nebraska, Michigan State comes in, and this is going to be kind of the end of really one of the longer home stretches you can recall in Nebraska football history. From Arrowhead Stadium to next week's game at Maryland, Nebraska will be in Lincoln for 43 days. They're the only team in the Big Ten that has opened with 2 straight conference home games, along with 3 non-conference, 2 non-conference home games in the Arrowhead game before that. But quite a scheduling break for Nebraska. They're 10.5-point favorites, but a lot of things, Sip, were addressed over this bye week.
Well, I mean, the things that they really have to address are, I mean, if you just take a brief look at the stats, just a run through. Nebraska 86th in rush offense. The things they have to address, there's some good things, but 86th in rush offense, 108th in rush defense. That gets your attention right away, right? And then red zone offense is 99th. Those are the things we grouse about in the press box, right? Not running it. Rob's up there kind of sniping at me. Can't run it.
Corner fades.
Yeah, well, can't run it. Can't
In
stop.
zone fade routes.
Can't stop the run. Yeah, then they get in the red zone, and I'm asking you guys all the time, okay, what are you going to do here? What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Give me something. Give me something. What play we running? And usually it's like pulling teeth to get in the end zone. Then I'm watching these games all weekend. Last night, NFL teams get in the end zone pretty easy sometimes. I'm like, God, that's interesting. I wish I could see Nebraska do this.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Not all of them, though. As a New York Giants fan, I can speak to red zone woes, but it's certainly a concern for Nebraska. And I thought it was interesting too, because like the immediate reaction after that Michigan loss was like people didn't want to buy. The players didn't want to buy. They wanted to get back to work. They didn't want to sit there and stew over this loss for 2 weeks. But in retrospect, it was probably an ideal time for it because you are now a third of the way through the season. You've had your highest highs, and then now coming off your first loss, it's just a time to reevaluate and take a step back and figure out what are we doing well, what are we doing not well, what types of things do we need to fix. And obviously, you pointed out some of the glaring issues, but you can also start to hammer in more on the positives of leaning into your strengths, finding personnel groups, and different roles for players that have thrived over these first 4 games. So I think that opportunity to just take a step back and kind of get a big picture view as opposed to just going opponent is good for this team. I think the timing couldn't have come much better. Nebraska's pretty healthy, so I'm not worried about like that part, the physical element, but the mental, just taking a step back, catch your breath, and regroup for a very critical stretch ahead over this next month.
You're listening here to the Husker Online Show as we get you ready for Saturday's Michigan State game. It's a 3 p.m. game. Then we'll be 2:30 at Maryland. So Nebraska kind of living in that 2:30, 3 p.m. window 3 weeks in a row with Maryland as well, a later game. But This is just such a big game. They're all big, but just this moment of the schedule to kind of turn the page for Michigan. You're at home. It's going to be a great weather day. I mean, everything matches up well, at least on paper, with the way Michigan State plays. They're not a great pass rush team. They're not a great pass defense team. So there's a lot there that excites you for this matchup, that if things go right, Nebraska should have a big offensive day.
Yeah, and you talked about it, Sean. Rarely do you get your first 2 conference games at home. Well, you lost the first one. You got to make some hay there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't want to go 0-2 in that scenario. So you're right, and it is a very manageable opponent. I'll tell you what, I thought, I don't know what you guys would say. I think it's been pretty buttoned down. The sound of the guys, the sound of Rule, no opening statement on Monday. And then only went 19 minutes in his press conference.
Probably the shortest presser we've had on a regular Monday one.
Usually it's
40,
15 minutes more than that or more. Yeah. And I thought the players were pretty succinct today too. You can tell we're in it now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I hate to do this thing where we always talk about the magnitude of games, but if only because you start with 2 conference home games, you do need to get one of those. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
especially when you're a 10.5 point favorite.
Yeah. 100.
Well, and also with what this month means for Nebraska. I mean, like, this is we look to the season, like, these are all the 50-50 games.
Yeah.
Like, the games that Nebraska has lost far more than they've won, and starts with the Michigan State game. All right, well, you're expected to win. You're probably going in as close to 2 touchdown favorites. Well, you better do what you're supposed to do and win that game. Because if you, like you said, if you slip up and fall 0-2 in league play, 0-2 in the league at home, then all of a sudden you're once again putting yourself in a situation where you have to try to dig yourself out on the road, going to Maryland, who's better than everybody thought. Then you got a Friday night game against Minnesota where you haven't won since whatever, the Solich era, it seems like. And then you got
Minnesota's won 5 straight.
Yeah. And then
Nebraska's last win there was Mike Riley.
So, I mean, like, that's what you want to talk about, why this game is critical. It's a tone setter. One, it's to get back some, good vibes after that Michigan loss, and especially coming out of the bye. Like, you better be coming ready to play. But then also getting yourself some momentum back on your side to go to Maryland feeling like a different team than you do right now. Getting that confidence back that you're playing with so much coming out of non-con.
Oh, yeah.
Well, 2 things need to show improvement. They got to run the ball more consistently, and they've got to stop the run. I mean,
Yeah, those are huge.
the stats are so flip-flop from, say, a year ago. Think about last year. Going into the Indiana game, Nebraska did not allow a rushing touchdown all year. Think how much that's flipped.
Yeah, good
They're
point.
the only pass defense in the country that's giving up under 100 yards a game. Nebraska's number 1 in all the passing defensive categories right now.
Nebraska is, because of what Sean's saying, I think it's a really interesting study, Nebraska, because you're trying to overcome this glaring issue. Can't run it, can't stop it very well. You got to get better in those areas, but those are critical areas that you got to work around. The good news is they have a lot of parts that might allow them to work around it. You have Ja'Cory Barney returning punts. You have Dylan, one of the best top 20 quarterbacks in the country, in my opinion. You have a good receiver core. You have a great secondary. So it's you probably can pull this off.
It's not a physical thing with the defense either, I don't think. It's just more an alignment thing and getting off blocks.
I wonder about that. They're little up front, Sean.
But I don't feel like Michigan just manhandled them like Michigan did in Ann Arbor a couple years ago.
I think on the you would say on Haynes' first run, they got manhandled. But they didn't, like Rule had pointed out. It's not like they allowed 2 real long runs by the running backs and then 6 yards of carry up all the rest of the game. Wasn't that bad. The long runs hurt you, and they count. You can't say they don't count. But it wasn't like they were 6 yards, 7 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, like it was when Corum was playing for Michigan and we covered it out in Ann Arbor. And I thought Nebraska was gap sound, and they were sound in general. But then you look up 2nd and 4, Michigan. 2nd and 3, Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see on that, Sean. But, man, I'm telling you, I don't care what you say about Michigan's offense. It's not very good. They don't run the ball very good. But you still have to defend these big running backs and big offensive lines.
Yeah, and what they lack in size, I think what John Butler especially was saying today was they got to make up for with numbers. And that starts with guys getting off blocks, but they need to fly to the football. How many times on those big runs was it a one-on-one situation where if one guy didn't make the tackle, it's a home run? Well, they didn't make the tackle. Boom, 3 straight big home run runs. So that's what I think it comes down to is, you're sure going to be at a disadvantage just because of the lack of size you have up front. But you can make up with that with being where you're supposed to be and having multiple hats on the football at all times.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk offensive storylines heading into Michigan State. You're listening to the Husker Online Show. And we're back here on the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Simple, Robin Waschett. Before we get into the offensive storylines, we're brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Underdog. And look, guys, there's no better way to get into the fun of all the action, not just college football, pro football. Underdog Fantasy has you covered in everything. You could have gotten in the Ryder Cup, and it is so fun and easy. It's as simple as picking your favorite players and simply saying higher or lower. Hey, he's going to have 240 passing yards, higher or lower. And you pair that with 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever the number is you want to pair it with your favorite projections. And the more you pick, the more you hit, the more you win with Underdog. And we've got a great deal with Husker Online. We're going to give you your first $50 in bonus funds when you put your first $5 in. All you need to do is use the promo code Husker25. We'll give you $50. All you got to do is put $5 in your Underdog account at that point. Again, that's Husker25. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make picks, win money. You must be 18 or over, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado, and for some games, 21 and over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See more at assetsunderdogfantasy.com for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play, call 800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE hotline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Thanks to Underdog for sponsoring us here on Husker Online. All right, guys, let's get into the offensive discussion here because I want to start with the offensive line. I do think that is kind of, the story of the week. I mean, especially with the way things played out last week. Nebraska gave up 36 individual player pressures, 7 quarterback sacks to Michigan. And the Wolverines were probably the first team that truly attacked Nebraska with a heavy blitz and rush. And Nebraska did not meet the challenge. And I think we're all on the same page. We're going to see something different, whether it's Elijah Pritchett at left tackle or whatever. But there's going to be a few tinkers made of the line this week.
Yeah, I think you could see Pritchett on either the right side or the left side. Yeah, I think it's time. I think we agree that it's time. Pritchett is very talented. We know that. We know it not because of what we've seen necessarily, but what we've heard. And I've heard enough that suggests he's the most talented tackle they have over there. He's just got to put it all together. Now, the one thing you can say is when he trots out there, you do understand. Look at him compared to what the other guys. Just look at him. Just take a moment and size him up. He's a monster. If he like one guy told me that watches practices, if he gets his hands on you, it's over. I mean, he's formidable. So let him work through his problems is what I think.
I agree with you. And it's because if that's the route you make, and like now that you're giving him that opportunity where he's going to start, you got to play him. You can't pull him if he makes one mistake, like where he's playing 6 snaps against Michigan. Like there's too much of an investment made in getting him here and putting him in that conversation. But then also you got to let that investment have a chance to play out and reward you on the field. And the only way to do that is to give him reps. So, let him work through whatever he needs to work through. If that's the move, you've had 2 weeks to get this thing going, to get him in the right headspace to where he's not going to, worry about jumping off and you're having all that timid stuff. Like this is the opportunity now, especially coming off a game like that. You have to do something. I mean, because if you rolled out the same offensive line, I mean, I know from a fan standpoint, people are going to be like, what are we doing here? Like, are we even trying? True. But then internally, what kind of message does that send? Like, what can our offense do? Like, and if you're Dylan, you're like, man, like, I know he's not going to say it, but like, if you're getting pressured that many times, like, how does that affect his play if he's constantly worrying about getting knocked around? So that's probably the most obvious move I think Nebraska can make over the bye to improve that pass protection. And I think they have to let Pritchett play it out if that's the route they
Well,
choose.
the balance needs to be there too, though. They need to run the ball more. I mean, Emma Johnson last week against Michigan had 5 carries for 10 yards in the second half. Compare that to the first half. He had 14 carries for 55 yards. That's the balance you want to see. When you know Dylan Raiola is going to drop back and throw every time, it is a lot easier to pass rush. And Michigan brought 26 blitzes, around 25, 26 blitzes, I believe is what the Pro Football Focus.
24
was the number. Compare that to Cincinnati, only brought 12. Michigan was the first team that truly just said, we're going to bring it because we think our back end people can cover and we think we can beat your tackles.
Yeah, they went speed to power. You could see it. You guys were watching.
I think you've said speed to power. I've heard you say that 100,000 times this week.
They line up.
Phrase.
They line up really wide, and then it's speed to power. So 101.
There's another time you said. Did Coach Bush say that on your show? And
no, somebody from Michigan said it.
You've taken that and just made that your T-shirt phrase all week.
Yeah. So that's what they were doing, though. It was very speed to power. A lot of speed to power.
I've heard you say, I've been out with you for 2 weeks. I think I've heard you say it 100 times.
So we'll see if Michigan State kind of employs that speed to power deal. But I mean, here's the thing, guys. I mean, this is really just first day stuff. You can't protect and you can't run. Okay, now what? You can't protect the passer and you don't run the ball very well. You better get that whipped into shape quick because you won't finish 8-4.
Have you guys ever seen Nebraska this late in the? I mean, I don't think it's ever been done where they're ranked number 2 in the country in passing. Is that in the Big Ten? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you want to be that skewed?
Yeah. It's skewed. It's Sean, some of those stats, I don't get into them too much after 4 games.
Until another 4 need to kind of.
They don't really. I mean,
I don't balance out.
Yeah, I don't emphasize stats after 4 games, especially after you play Houston Christian and Akron.
Let the conference games dictate.
Yeah,
the stats.
and I almost just say look at the conference stats. So they need more balance. Come on, man.
I mean, regardless of how much stock you put into them, it's not sustainable. Like you're going to go into November just whipping the ball around 40 times a game. Like good luck with that. Like that's not a model for success in this conference, especially with the level of competition you're playing late in the season. So balance is the absolute most critical component that this offense needs. I mean, pass protection is a big part of that, but offensive line play overall, they have to run the ball better. They have to get more push on the line, especially in the red zone. You got to start finishing drives, and being able to run the ball more effectively inside the 20 is right up at the top of the list, right up there with keeping your quarterback clean.
You're listening here to the HuskerOnline show as we continue the offensive discussion. I do think this week, though, it's set up. It's going to be great weather, and you got a team that's not an elite pass rushing team, Michigan State. Their secondary is one of the worst in the country and worse than the Big Ten. I mean, so this is the kind of game where Dylan and Dana Holgorsen could have another 300 plus yards.
Oh, I'd be really surprised if Dylan doesn't throw for 300 plus. Really surprised. In part, I think you have to.
Yeah.
But again, see what we're talking about. If he's going to drop back 40 times, which he did against Michigan, 39, wasn't it? If you got to protect him, it's not just it's also an injury discussion. You can't have him getting hit back there like he did against Michigan. That's your franchise, man.
Take him out. So he actually dropped back 49 times.
49.
And had 42 attempts. So seven of those were sacks, and then 42 were throws.
Yeah, you got it. This protection issue is gigantic. It's gigantic.
I'd love to know the data on that. 49 dropbacks in a game is a ton for Nebraska.
You got to challenge those guys. I mean, you got to tell them, look, this threatens our season. I mean, if you can't protect Dylan and we're not running it we're not running it that well, and I don't think they will ever be a really good running team, this team, then
it's got to be good enough.
Yeah, you got to have some semblance of balance.
It's more like one of those Texas Tech teams where they ran it some, but it was never enough. Where Mike Leach's teams, they would get you.
You know what you want? You want to see it. I want him to prove us wrong. I like to see him line up and hammer away.
You need a second back, though. You can't just have Emmett be it, because Emmett's 100%. Not a Emmett's not a big play back. We all can agree he is not a home run back.
No, he's not. He's not Justice Haynes. He wouldn't have made those runs.
He's a single to maybe a double back, but he's not a triple or home run guy. I mean, he's not. I mean, we've seen enough of him at Johnson to know he's going to be good at getting that 4 to 12-yard run, but anything beyond 12 is, a rarity. I mean, the biggest run against Michigan was 14 yards.
First run of the game.
What did you think about Holgerson's comments on Tuesday, talking about the options they have at running back and saying that you might see something you don't expect? Like, what could they possibly do? They've already played all their running backs. Are we talking about like a Connor Booth?
No.
I'm just throwing out names, like guys that haven't played. Like, is that something we have never seen? Is it Mosey going back?
I still think it's Mekhi Nelson. I do.
So I'm just curious what he meant by that, though.
He's only carried 9 times.
Are they talking about, is it a schematic thing? Are they going to try to do some different backfield formations? Or like, I'm just kind of curious. That raised my eyebrows, what he meant by that.
Well, we will see where that goes. Mekhi Nelson seems like the logical number 2 based on last week, but we thought against Houston Christian he'd play more, and he was held out of that game. So lots to look at with the offense. Let's shift the focus to the defense next. You're listening here to the Husker Online Show. And we're back here on the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washett, as we're talking some defensive storylines, and we're brought to you by Mando. And I walked in the studio, it just smelled like $1 million. I'm like,
did it really though?
What is that beautiful smell? Oh, it was Steve Sipple. And he's on his Mando kick. He's spraying it around everywhere again, using the lotions.
The lotions are good. The lotions are good, Rob. After a shower, just kind of
TMI.
Yep.
Double. That's not TMI.
Getting all moisturized.
Yeah, double protection, kind of. Yeah, and the example I always use is it's a joy. It's a joy to pull your shirt off because you smell it. You smell it. It's like I can wear that shirt again. It smelled good coming off.
Well, Mando, if you've never tried Mando,
right?
And it has the official Steve Sipple seal of approval.
It does.
You just want to rip your shirt off.
Go to shopmando.com and you'll get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code Husker. It's shopmando.com again. And you'll get 20% off your order of Mando with that promo code Husker. If Steve Sipple uses it, I can promise you'll use it.
Yeah, you should. There's a lot of good product there.
You've used the body wipes too, right?
Yes. Thanks.
All right. Thanks to Mando for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. Let's get into the defensive storylines. John Butler, we heard from this week.
Yeah.
Honestly, not a lot. Did we talk? What defenders did we talk to? I mean, a couple guys were in the hallway, Riley Van Poppel and Donovan Jones, but not a lot of
nobody up front
on the defensive side of the ball in terms of up front players this week. But you get the emphasis that they went real physical all week on the bye week.
And what the deal was, Sean, the theme was big plays. And he said it's very specific what's going on. We're allowing big run plays, not big pass plays. And he talked at length about what they have to do. It really comes down to 2 things. Rob kind of alluded to it earlier. Guys being in their gaps and getting off blocks. Be in your gaps and get off blocks. He said against Michigan on those big plays, guys were in their gaps, didn't get off blocks. He said something really important too. Run defense isn't about scheme; it's about attitude. It's about a willingness to be a savage. It's a willingness just to say this isn't happening. They're not running the ball on us. You watch the NFL. I watch the NFL. I mean, I watch all football, but you can see a good run stopping team has attitude. Nebraska got to develop that.
Back to your big play conversation. Nebraska is the only team in the country that has not allowed a pass of longer than 20 yards this season.
It's a run specific.
They've given up 6 run plays of 20 yards or more. So like that says everything you need to know. The big plays that are hurting Nebraska are all on the ground. It's not even a question. All 6 of the big plays have come from other teams just running right at them. And yeah, it's an attitude, and it's about winning those one-on-one battles. But I think it also goes back to the gang tackling mentality where you got to swarm to the ball. Again, Nebraska's not the biggest, strongest, fastest defense out there, but they can make up with that with numbers. And I think that is kind of the message John Butler's really trying to hammer home, is that attitude to be a good run defense team is about all 11 guys swarming to the football. So even if one guy misses the tackle, there's 3-4 guys all there to clean it up.
You see it.
How much did Michigan, you think, pre-snap Nebraska, where they really got them lined up how they wanted them, and checked into the right play, where it was one-on-one situations where, like, all right, if our guy blocks their guy, home run. And it felt like that was
happened.
Some of it, the way they motioned and spread people out, they just got. There were just situations where Nebraska wasn't. It didn't feel like they were aligned right.
Well, a couple of times I think Nebraska guessed wrong too.
Yep.
They was with this in one case for sure on one of the long runs they stunted outside. There's a twist outside.
They ran right through the empty gap.
Right. So Sean, one of the down inside guys, stunted, twisted outside, and they hit it, and there was nobody there. What happened on Underwood's run? His 37-yard touchdown run. There was nobody.
The middle was open.
Yeah, the middle of the field cleared out in coverage and just ran right up the gut.
So I don't know. Nebraska might have guessed wrong a couple times. Michigan guessed right a few times. Again, Rule was right. It's not like they were lining up and pushing Nebraska down the field consistently. They just hit those home runs.
So that goes back to Sean's question, though. Is that Michigan identifying things at the line? Like, could they predict what Nebraska was going to do? Do they see that Nebraska was in the front
Maybe.
that was going to stunt? And
Connor Stallions was in the building
because it was very coincidental, if not, that they just ran directly into the void left by a stunt on all those runs and knew
not
where
all
to
of
attack.
them. Not all of them. The third
On
one,
the big ones.
Yeah. Well, the backup running back's run was unfortunate because one of Nebraska's defensive tackles had him in his arms.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he literally had him in his arms. I don't know how he got through that, but he did. And to your point, Nebraska didn't have the population there.
Right, where one missed tackle equates a touchdown.
I'm curious, guys. Aiden Childs comes in, another dual threat guy. Nebraska has seen Brendan Sorsby, who since he's played the Huskers has been one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
He's a first-round draft.
Throwing for 975 yards and 10 touchdowns since the Nebraska game.
Oh, they put 600 yards on Kansas. They put 600 yards on Kansas.
They've seen Underwood. So where is Aiden Childs at in that kind of compare game when you compare him to a Sorsby and Underwood? Is he closer to Underwood or is he?
No, he's closer to Sorsby. I think you take him over Underwood because he's a junior.
You do. You take him over Underwood.
Yeah. I take Childs over Underwood because he's a junior. He's completing 69% of his passes. 9 touchdowns, 1 pick, and he's running it well. He runs designed runs. He runs the QB draws that have hurt Nebraska, and he can scramble. Oh yeah, I'll go this far. I think he's the best quarterback left on the schedule.
Better than Jaden Maeva?
Oh yeah.
Come on.
Oh Sean, come on. Maeva's not. You see Hy-Vee on Saturday by any chance?
Hey, to Sip's point, I've seen some mock drafts that have
Childs
as the fourth QB off the board as a potential first rounder.
No, you love Maeva. He's fine. If you saw him Saturday, which you didn't, he was very average in that game. Very average.
I watched some of it. They put up 32 points.
The thing that concerns you about Michigan 32. State and Childs is his willingness to scramble. Like Underwood didn't want to scramble. Sorsby did. Sorsby ran for 100 yards on him. So that is what you worry about is, this all emphasis on getting up on the run and stuff. You have to have be disciplined too. You can't just send the house and expect, to get home, but then also finish the plays with the way that they're tackling right now. So that is the balance they have to be aggressive and they have to attack, but you also got to stay home and not let this one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the conference beat you with his legs. You have to make him one-dimensional.
And he averages about 4 or 5 design runs a game. Yeah. And he's going to get probably, 3 scrambles. So you have to bank on, 7 to 9 true runs from Childs in this game.
They lean so hard on him. You can oversimplify these conversations, but it'd be hard to emphasize enough how critical it is to defend him well. He's the game to me. Oh, yeah. You got to defend him well.
3rd downs, get him off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it goes back to, we talk about this for Michigan too, those early down success rate. Earn the right to rush the passers, what we always say.
Yeah, I know.
If you're letting Childs run out of 2nd and 2 and 3rd and 1 all the time, that you're making life pretty easy on him.
All right, when we come back, Abby Barmore will join the program, and we'll take your questions in the mailbag. You're listening here to the HuskerOnline Show. And we're back here on the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washut, Abby Barmore joining us. Before we bring in her for the mailbag, we're brought to you by Applebee's. The Ultimate Trio is here at Applebee's. It's perfect for game day with this app. You're the play caller. Pick any 3 apps, 3 sauces for your Ultimate Trio for just $14.99. With over 80,000 combinations, Applebee's has something for everyone. Plus, enjoy half-price apps Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 and every day from 9 to close. That's wings, mozzarella sticks, pretzels, you name it, all half off. Perfect for your game day. And on top of that, again, our Steve Sipple special continues. You can get 6 free boneless wings for $10. If you buy anything for $10 on the menu, they'll throw in 6 free boneless wings. You have to say Huskers. Offers are available only at the Nebraska locations here that we're working with. That's Lincoln, North Platte, Scottsbluff, Kearney, Sidney, Grand Island, York, and Columbus. Now, I'm told there might be one in Lincoln that's not taking part in it, but we're trying to get an answer on that because we are working directly with the ownership group.
Good.
And we're taking this money right from SIP's check.
Do I need to go in there myself?
Calls are being made.
Well,
Actually, I think you're the one that might. You got when the North 27th Street location had so many people trying to get the free wings off your check.
I need to go in there and ruffle some feathers.
Yeah,
But
man.
go in there, say Huskers to them, and you want the Husker Online wing special, 6 free boneless wings when you spend $10. Thanks to Applebee's sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. Okay, Abby, how was your bye weekend, by the way?
It was great. I mean, there's always volleyball. Volleyball doesn't get a break, but Nebraska started the Big Ten really well, and they got a big one coming up against Penn State, so it'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
Before we dive into the mailbag, my friends Maddie and Trent are getting married this weekend,
Maddie
and
and
shout out to them. Trent is a big fan of the show, so thanks for your support and congrats.
Trent,
Good job, Trent.
Yeah.
Abby,
close the deal.
When's the wedding? Saturday?
Yep, Saturday, so I will miss it.
You're in
I
that
know.
stage
well,
in
I'm
life.
gonna be
She has a
I'll
wedding
be
like
at the
all
wedding
the time.
and I'll be missing Michigan State, but we've got Sam lined up. Do the 3 takes.
Intern Sam.
You're in that.
Passing the torch for the weekend.
You're in that wedding stage of life, Abby, where
Mhm.
everyone has weddings.
Yes, pretty much everyone I know is getting married, and it's a lot. Apparently, they all get married in the fall. It feels like. I don't know what the deal is with that.
It's fun when you get to the stage where everybody's on their like 2nd and 3rd weddings. It's not nearly as fun.
The vibes are down.
Fives aren't nearly as high as they were.
Destination wedding in like Florida.
That was interesting.
You know what I'm
Rob.
talking about.
All right.
Hello.
Let's get in the mailbag.
Okay, yeah,
Abby.
let's walk in here.
Wedding
Okay.
season's over. Let's get in the mailbag. What do you got?
Okay. What is a key Michigan State weakness that Nebraska should take advantage of?
Their pass defense. I mean, that's the key one. And, they're dissecting that tape of their pass rush issues. I mean, Michigan State only has 6 sacks over 4 games. And, I think Pro Football Focus only scores them with 4 sacks. So some of their sacks aren't even really big. So there should be time for Dylan Raiola in this game.
Yeah, I would like to I'd like to see him roll out a little more, get him out of the pocket, move him out a little bit more. They've done that. It's not like they haven't done it. I think they could do that a little bit more. He's good rolling out and throwing.
Mhm.
He does a good job of that.
Yeah, and if that O-line and the pass pro can hold up, I just love to see that those wide receivers get more involved downfield. I mean, you saw glimpses of it in non-comp play, but man, just think about all the questions we're talking about running the ball. If you can open things up by taking the lid off, then all of a sudden it's a lot easier to run between tackles.
All right, next question.
Okay. After watching lots of football this Saturday with the bye, what is your biggest takeaway from the Big Ten this season?
Oh, I think that it's fascinating. I'll tell you what the biggest takeaway is. The SEC's got to be sweating bullets right now because Oregon and Ohio State look like the 2 best teams in the country.
Oregon.
How about 3 straight years of Big Ten national titles? Those are the 2 best teams in the country. Ohio State's got, I think they might have a historically good defense, but I'm not. I mean, Oregon's probably a little better, well-rounded.
Oregon
more
looks
well-rounded.
like the most complete team in college football to me right now.
I think the depth of the conference jumps out to me too. I think it's deeper than it's ever been in the 15 years Nebraska's been in this league. Is who the heavyweights are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 3 or 4 heavyweights, and I put Michigan in the heavyweight lineup still. I mean, but Oregon and Penn State and Ohio State. But
Indiana.
then in Indiana, then the heavyweight card keeps adding teams. I mean, you got Indiana, you got Illinois, you got USC, you got Nebraska in that conversation. Washington is a solid team. Iowa is a solid team. There are no easy Saturdays in this league. I mean, Hell, UCLA, they're struggling, but they went into Evanston and got beat.
Before you put USC in the heavyweight, let's see what they do against Notre Dame. I mean, I don't know that I'd put you. I watched. They don't look heavyweight to me. That's a game. They won't be ranked against Nebraska. They by the time they get there, they won't be ranked. But yeah, the depth is good. Depth is good.
Is that Notre Dame game? I should know this, but is it in LA or is it in South Bend?
Unclear. I think it's in LA. Unclear.
Early in the year, they played in Notre Dame. Late in the year, it's always in South Bend. So, Rob, you looking that up?
Trying to. It is at Notre Dame.
It's at Notre Dame.
Oh,
So
they're
Megan's
going
got
to,
it
Sean,
for
I
us.
think they could get hammered.
all right. Next
Okay.
question.
Next one. At this point, does Nebraska have any assistant coaches on the hot seat?
Sean, take this one.
We might have some mailbag people on the hot seat for asking that question. I mean,
Sean's stunned.
I think it's too early to even have
Yeah.
those discuss. I mean,
Yeah.
they've lost one game by 3 points.
They lost by 3 to a top 25 team.
No. The
Goodness.
answer is no.
No.
Nobody on the hot seat.
I mean,
No.
I think that's an evolving discussion always with staff changes. And I think college football, it's pretty normal to have 2 or 3 coaches leave every year now. It's just part of the
Yeah,
deal.
and also in college football, it is Abby to defend the question. It's crazy how emotional it gets
Mhm.
and how people jump the gun on everything. So, in that context, I can accept
Like
the question.
Gundy got fired like on a Tuesday and they played on Saturday.
Well, there's 4 jobs open, big time jobs open already. Now, but those were pretty extreme cases too.
Right. Gundy held his Monday presser. Then he got fired on Tuesday. Like
Am I wrong, by the way? Is there just 4? Is there 4?
Virginia Tech, Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and
UCLA.
UCLA.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Got time for a couple more. Abby, what do you got?
Okay. Can you explain what Rule was talking about with the NCAA possibly making changes that would make it pointless to redshirt?
Sean.
They're going to create a 5-year clock. And I mean, there were a lot of student athletes in all sports that were holding out hope. I mean, I think like an Alexis Markowski would have loved to play a 5th year. I know some Husker swimmers that were good swimmers a year ago that would love to have, the thought that they could get that 5th year. That did not go into play. I think it's been kind of a carrot that's been dangled for a couple of years now, and everyone's just kind of waiting for it to go into motion. But I will say there's going to be a huge cost for institutions to, have these athletes another year. And, you have roster limits, so that would hopefully balance out those costs. But it will affect a lot of rosters over the course, because then all of a sudden there's available transfers that might have that free year available in sports like basketball. I mean, all of a sudden there's a lot of guys that are available as extra 5th-year players.
Well, and the other part to that is that there's also a looming one. They're going back to the one-time transfer rule, where it would go back to deal if you transfer once, your second transfer, you'd have to sit out a year. Like that's also being discussed and on the table, right?
Do it.
So like
Nail that down.
you want to talk about like increasing roster retention, like that's it right there.
Oh,
you
God, yes.
You let guys play, so they're not just sitting there, getting phased out and without zero consequence of ineligibility. Because with a 5-year, like how many guys are playing more than 5 years anyway? So like that's what Rule is talking about, where redshirting is pointless. Like Riley Van Poppel plays last year if there's the 5-for-5 rule. Go back, Braden Frager for the basketball team plays last year if there's the 5-for-5. So like that's what he's talking about. Like redshirting is to preserve eligibility, but when you have an additional year of eligibility, it makes that conversation moot.
Yeah, and that whole 4-game thing, it's a great rule, but it is a pain in the ass to manage.
It is.
Oh, God, yes.
Like with Riley Van Poppel, they selectively last year picked the games to play him in. Like we're going to play him in Rutgers. Then we're going to play him against Iowa. It's like that was hard to manage. You're sitting on a guy that could have helped you.
Especially guys are playing special teams too.
Yeah,
That's
and then
another
you're
component.
you're asking coaches in press conferences around that threshold period. What do you got to do with this guy? It's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awkward.
All right, final question.
I have a comment. How about that? With football, you can play in 4 games, right? But it's not like that for volleyball and basketball.
True.
And if you do 5-for-5, that takes away the whole conversation of they play so many more games. But if you step on the court, then you burn your red shirt. And that's going to help a lot with like actually just getting some experience, because you might only play a few sets or a few minutes, but if you get some, that's
100.
really important.
100.
Okay.
Good job.
Last question.
Speed to power.
What was the best? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Best field storm in college football history. We just had a good one.
Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia was really good. You guys see that?
Yes. It was insane. I'm surprised that there weren't player casualties getting trampled on that. Guys were still laying on the ground after an incomplete pass.
And the corner of the end zone
by thousands of kids.
It couldn't happen the way it did, Sean, at Virginia.
It's like a basketball court.
It couldn't happen because there's nothing to stop the kids.
Yeah.
At South Stadium, you got to
jump a fence.
Yeah, jump a huge fence, and it's a big, it's a big fall down.
They opened the gate though for the field stormings last year. There were 2 field stormings last year in Nebraska.
Virginia, that was as intense of one as I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
It was like a battlefield in a medieval movie where they just charge with horses down the field.
It's like Jon Snow getting ready to fight the White Walkers.
No, I'll give you one, an old school one. I mean, the greatest field storming of all time is the Cal Stanford band game.
Oh yeah.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, they thought the game was over, and it was Cal's band was on the field.
The band is on the field.
And Stanford executed. John Elway's Stanford team executed the play. And Abby, you're probably too young to remember this play, but literally the whole band was on the field, and Stanford ran like a lateral play with the band on the field to win the game.
It was nuts. It's a huge story back then.
It's
Abby.
not the best, but my favorite ever was 2002 Texas A&M. Nebraska went down there and beat them. It was a close game. I mean, Philip Bland had a late interception to seal the deal. And the only reason it's my favorite ever is because there was maybe I don't know, 5 to 10 Husker fans that, were celebrating the win. They stormed the field. Well, at Texas A&M, their field is sacred. It's like a memorial to fallen soldiers and all that sort of thing. So it's a big deal that non-players and staff step on the field. Well, these Husker fans charge the field, and there's cadets, at that A&M's military, and then they're in full garb, including sabers. There's a couple of cadets that drew their sabers, and were swinging them at Nebraska fans. Get off our field! Get off! And swinging swords at
Husker players got involved and were helping the Husker fans.
It was the most intense scene I've ever been a part of.
Pre-cell phone.
Could have been more.
Literally, it was like watching a battle. I've never seen anybody swing a sword at another person. That was a first for me.
No contact, thank God.
That was
no cuts.
All right. Well, that was
limbs
fun.
removed.
When we come back, guys, we'll recap what we saw in the Big Ten and get you ready for this weekend. You're listening here to the Husker Online Show. Final segment here of the Husker Online Show. Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, Robin Washut. We're brought to you by Billings Group, a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance and his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in Salina, Kansas, and they help clients across the Midwest and beyond make smart, confident decisions with their money. From your first real paycheck to your final retirement party, Billings Group is here to walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Securities offered by registered representatives through Client Private Services, member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives through RFG Advisory, registered investment advisor, RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and private client services are unaffiliated entities.
That was speed to power right there.
Speed to power. That was a Michigan edge coming off the left side.
That was number 1.
That was.
Here he comes.
All right. Thanks, Billings Group, for sponsoring us here on the Husker Online Show. We even make the disclaimers fun, don't we?
Yes, we do.
All right. Well, last week, let's run through it. Minnesota, without their top 2 running backs, beats Rutgers in your typical kind of Rutgers-Minnesota game, 31-28. Illinois, 34-32 winner over USC. Indiana goes into Iowa City, wins 20-15. Ohio State ends a long winning streak that Washington had in Seattle by winning 24-6. Sips had a big-time defensive performance. Northwestern keeps UCLA at 0-4. They win 17-14. Then Oregon in the nightcap was a 30-24 winner. I mean, I think I'll start first, guys, with that Oregon Penn State game. Just the heat on James Franklin. I mean, he's going to have a playoff team probably again, it looks like. Mm-hmm. But, man, the natives are not happy out there.
No, they have a hard time. It's just the same story with Penn State, guys. They have trouble moving the ball downfield in the passing game. They don't have an explosive offense, and it shows up against the good teams. Well, it shows up. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have to be that good. On the other hand, Jaden Daniels is now, I would say, your Heisman front runner. He's a very, very poised quarterback, very accurate, and he can run it. He can scoot. But he looked fabulous in that game. And the other thing I want to say, freshman. You get the right freshman. Their leading rusher, Oregon's leading rusher, true freshman, leading receiver, true freshman. In that atmosphere, they stuck two true freshmen out there who led them in rushing and receiving.
Talking about Dante Moore.
Oh, Dante
Yeah,
Moore.
Dylan isn't. You said the wrong guy.
Yeah, we almost
Dante
need to
Moore,
start
Oregon
over.
quarterback.
Should we start over?
No, you're good. Okay, we'll correct you.
Dante Moore.
I'll just roll with it.
What did I call it?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. That's the Kansas quarterback, right?
Or the Washington Commanders
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yeah.
Either way, I knew who you were talking about. Dante Moore. Yes. And he did vault up to the Heisman Trophy conversation. I wanted to ask you about that. Like, there's been a lot of comparisons made to James Franklin not winning the big one to Tom Osborne not winning the big one.
Oh, it's
I wrote that.
Great teams.
Sean, go ahead.
But can't get over the hump. Do you think that that's a fair comparison?
Well, Tom Osborne had 20 years of his coaching career where he was James Franklin, where every major game against Oklahoma and even some against Colorado, and then the bowl games against the Miamis and the Florida States, he didn't win any of them. He won the one Oklahoma game in the 70s.
Oh, it's very comparable.
And lost all the big games, won all the games he should. Osborne only lost one time as an underdog his whole career, or favored his whole career. Iowa State, the 92 game with Jim Walden. Other than that, he won all the games he was supposed to win and dropped, the big games. And that's kind of like what Franklin's been like. And Osborne didn't win these games until his final 5 years.
Franklin, I don't know if it ever got as bad as Franklin's. Franklin's 4-21 against the top 10. 4-21.
Nebraska lost 7 straight bowl games.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. I don't know what to say about Penn State. It's that game. They did a great job. I mean, I think they were down 17-3. Then they got it to overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So they did a great job of fighting back, scrapping, and then Allard just threw an inexplicable interception.
That was bad.
It was not. It was a bad. I thought at first, okay, not that bad of a throw. Replay, no, terrible throw, bad throw. Tried to layer it in, didn't come close. Bad. And he's done that. He did that. He did that in the college
Kind
football.
of his MO now.
Yeah.
Is Franklin a guy that could just say, you know what, change of scenery? I'm going to take the Florida job if it opens.
Well, it's a good question.
I mean,
I wonder.
He strikes me as a guy that would be angry of the heat he's taking.
But here's the thing about that, Sean. Then he's quitting, and I don't. That sounds like quitting to me, not change of scenery. It just sounds like I'm turning my back because I can't handle this. I wouldn't expect him to do that.
Yeah, Florida, if that opens, they're going to go after Lane Kiffin.
Yeah. Lane's in a good situation right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is Florida much better than Ole Miss, that situation right now? I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
Ole Miss doesn't lose at home. That's the other. These teams that don't lose at home, I'm very envious of, or I would be like if I were a Nebraska fan. Washington hadn't lost at home. I don't think they'd lost at home since 2022. Ole Miss doesn't lose at home anymore. But anyway, what else in the Big Ten?
All right, around the league this week, Illinois at Purdue at 11 a.m. Michigan will host Wisconsin. That's an 11 a.m. game. The Wolverines are a 16.5 point favorite. Louisiana Monroe is in Evanston. Penn State goes on the road to the Rose Bowl. So kind of you would hope a good bounce back game, but
I think so.
If they don't show up out there, that's a problem. I mean,
maybe I think they could not show up and
think about that flight though. State College to LA.
It's really hard.
James Frank will be the first one to complain about it too.
And they have to bus to Harrisburg before they fly out now. They can't fly out of State College.
Tough trip.
Washington, Maryland.
Huge game for us.
In the most un-Big Ten game ever. I mean, that just doesn't feel like a Big Ten game.
No, but it's gigantic to gauge Maryland.
Yeah, we'll see what they're all about.
Yeah.
And then obviously Nebraska, Michigan State. And then the nightcap, Minnesota, 3-1 at Ohio State, 4-0. I mean, you'd think the Buckeyes win that game handily, but
hey, here's the thing to watch on that. Does Minnesota score? I would watch that. That could be
over-unders only at 44.5. Ohio State's a 24-point favorite. Odds are they might not.
Yeah, I don't know that Minnesota can score on them. I watched Minnesota against Rutgers. They're okay. The one thing to know about Minnesota, quarterback's not mobile. Now, think about the pass rush Ohio State will put on him. I'm telling you, Sean, Ohio State's defense, you can be just a layman, watch it for 4 minutes and go, oh, God, that's a freaky defense.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch it 4 minutes and say, oh, God. Yeah, they're about as good as I've seen in a while.
All right. Well, big weekend of games across the conference. And again, Nebraska, Maryland, a week from Saturday is a 2:30 game in College Park, Maryland. Nebraska's first real true road game of the year. When you take the Arrowhead Stadium game out of it, they've been home for 43 days when you get to Maryland from Arrowhead.
I need more Crani-Yum. Jaden Daniels. What the hell?
You're thinking about your trip out to Maryland.
Yeah, you had DC on the mind.
I don't know what I had on my mind.
Speed to power.
Speed to power.
All right. For Abby Barmore, Robin Washett, and the always spicy Steve Sipple.
Sean.
I'm Sean Callahan.